Yo, what's good? It's your boy Derek Branch here of SportsView360.com, covering the New Orleans Saints. And I just want to talk about what has occurred with the New Orleans Saints during the past couple of hours, as the 2025 NFL free agency period is in full gear. There has been a plethora of signings, going off left and right, notifications, like every I would say 5 to 10 minutes on where players are intent to sign at with their future team or stay with their current team. Today is a day where teams can it's a tampering period of where the players can express their intent to sign with a future team or the current team that they're on right now. On Wednesday, March 12th is the official start of the NFL free agency period, but the way things flow, you would think that free agency already started. It really started yesterday. But in regards to the Saints, they didn't sign anybody yet as of now. But the first splash move that they've made is the acquisition of Devin Gacho, who is also a Louisiana native, played at LSU, did some time with the Miami Dolphins before signing with the New England Patriots. Saints sent New England a several round draft pick in 2026, and in return the Saints got Devin Gacho. From what I've read, Gacho has about 2 years remaining on his deal that he signed last July with the Patriots, and he's scheduled to earn salaries of $4 million in 2025 and $5.5 million in 2026. So Saints will take the salary cap hits according to this article by Catherine Terrell. They'll take the salary cap hits to $5 million in 2025 and $7.5 million in 2026 if they do not restructure Gacho's contract. The end of March, we're needing to shed at least $40 million in cap space and potentially sign more players in free agency, but they recently restructured the contracts of Eric McCoy and Derek Carr to open up 30 million in salary cap space. So I'm pretty much confident that the Saints are going to restructure his deal so that they could fit that contract under the cap and free up more money so you can go out there and make more moves. Gacho is 6'3", 230 pounds, one of the top. I would say one of the top defensive tackles in the game in regards to what he can do. Veteran guy, 30 years old, played under Bill Belichick, played in the 3-4 before, played in the 4-3 before. The move makes sense. You didn't have that type of player. You didn't have a nose tackle like a Devin Gacho under in your building at the time. You going into a 3-4 defense, and one of the questions that I had pondered about going into this 3-4 defense was the Saints don't have that meat grinder at nose tackle in the middle. They didn't have it, and now you got a guy like Devin Gacho who can come in and fill that void for right now for these next 2 seasons, because I don't think the Saints are going to go right into a 3-4 defense right away. That could be a 2 year process, and that's because of the salary, how dire it is in regards to the salary cap. Now, I'm not putting it past Mickey Loomis to go out there and make things happen, but the reality is this is going to be a year transition into this 3-4 defense, and I won't be surprised right now that going into this season that this unit is a middle of the pack unit in regards to defense, but that may be okay. You know what I'm saying? It might be just enough to get them into the playoffs, but we'll see how it all play out. But Devin Gacho is a good pickup, man. Good pickup. Um, I like the move. You didn't really, to me, you're not really losing anything by surrendering a 7 round draft pick in 2026 to the Patriots. It is what it is. That way, you give them the pick. That way you secure the acquisition of Devin Gotcho, because if they did let him go, you know, he can go out there, command salary, set his price, and other teams will probably be interested in signing him. So this way, you get his contract from the Patriots. Probably going to restructure it, give him the 7th round pick, secure his rights, and you got him. And the Patriots, on top of that, New England had already given Gotcho the permission to seek trade in February. So, and that's because they're going to Mike Vrabel, new scheme, defensive-minded coach. So it's best to just let Devin Gotcho pursue outside interests. But there you have it. Saints got Devin Gotcho. New England gets a 7th round draft pick in 2026. So if you looked at my the community section of the Sports View 360 YouTube channel for the New Orleans Saints, there was an article that came out from Pro Football Focus that was talking about, you know, some the players assigning that each team should make. And I posted the quote from Pro Football Focus, and that was them. They were saying that the Saints should go after Calais Campbell as the perfect free agent match for the team, and they pretty much said the reason why, why the Saints should pursue a guy like a Calais Campbell, and that's because of the dire situation in regards to stopping the run. You know what I'm saying? Saints were ranked 31st in PFF run defense grade, and no Saints interior defender recorded a run defense mark above 62.2. Meanwhile, Campbell's 85.9 PFF run defense grade was the best among qualifiers at the position, making his second straight season with an 80 plus grade in that category. But the Saints got made the decision to go after Devin Gotcho, but it wouldn't have hurted to add a guy like a Calais Campbell. Now I wouldn't be surprised if they go after him anyway, but we'll see how it all play out. I would prefer that they go through the draft, but I think this is a good move, man. Good move while you're going to during a year of transition to that 3-4 defense. Maybe you can add another guy to the draft that Gotcho can mentor, build up, and maybe you can have something going heading into 2025 and going into 2026. But I don't think the Saints are gonna dive headfirst into a 3-4 defense just because that's Brandon Staley's pedigree. I don't think it's gonna be that way. I think it's gonna be a combination. I think you're gonna see a 4-3, some variations of the 4-3 this season, a lot. But there you have it. Saints acquire Devin Gotcho. New England gets a 7th round draft pick in 2026. In other news, the Saints did lose somebody off the defense. They asked somebody on the defense, and they lost somebody on the defense, and that's cornerback Paulson Adebo of the going to the New York Giants for a total of 3 years. Yeah, 3 years. Give me a second. 3-year deal. I believe it's 18 million guaranteed. Well, under the LC, it was like he got like 18 million guaranteed. I mean, the numbers are kind of confusing, but this article right here said 36 million guaranteed. He got 54 million. I don't mind. I don't blame a D for jumping at this money. If the Saints weren't, willing to pay that much, and the Giants are willing to overpay for you, give you this type of money, this type of bread, do your thing. But I think there's a chance. I mean, who knows? But there's a chance that Paulson Debo can go to this team and just take it to a whole other level as a top corner in the NFL, just like Zach Bond did, Trey Henderson did, guys like C.J. Gardner Johnson, Caden Ellis with the Atlanta Falcons. Now, Caden Ellis is not on hasn't has not ascended to the level of a Zach Bond or Trey Henderson, but he's a solid player for that Falcons defense. But I would, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if a Debo goes to the Giants to become one of the top defenders in the NFL. I wouldn't be surprised, but that's the cost of doing business. That's just how it is with and that's because the Saints salary cap situation. You can't re-sign everybody. And that's because of how dire your situation is with the cap. You lose players like this. You lose players like a Zach Bond. You decide to walk away from Kate Nellis. Um, Trey Henderson, I think, was second in the league in sacks that year. He went to free agency, and the Saints decided not to bring him back. This is why. But it is what it is. I think right now this is a very high priority on your list. Bringing signing the corner. You know, the draft has one that I like, Will Johnson. That's a possibility. I heard that the Saints were trying to sign Sharkandrick Ward. They tried really hard to sign him, former 49ers defensive back. He signed with the Indianapolis Colts there, I believe, a 3-year deal. So there's that. But this is the cost. This is the after effects of having a your salary cap being the way it is. You lose players like this, you know. But that's how they want to run the team. It is what it is. In other news, I read that they're gonna bring back Demario Davis is coming back. He restructured his deal. Nathan Shepard, the other defensive tackle, they signed to a 1-year deal, so he'll be back. I don't know about Colin Saunders. Haven't heard anything on Tyrann Mathieu. Dante Pettis is coming back. He signed a 1-year deal. There was also some fake news out there that reported that from one of these fake accounts that the Saints had signed Micah Becton, the offensive tackle from the Philadelphia Eagles. That turned out not to be true, but we'll see how it all play out, man. This is the first wave of free agency right here. This first week, and if you've been following the Saints for a long time, especially during this current era we're in, the whole Sean Payton, Mickey Loomis, Drew Brees, Dennis Allen era. You know that the Saints don't typically make any type of moves during this first week. It's always that second and third week where the Saints can get active. And Loomis saying they were going to be aggressive during free agency, but we'll see how it all play out. In my opinion, me personally, I don't expect the Saints to. I don't think the Saints are going to meet major players in free agency this season. I expect more of the same of what you saw last year. Guys signing, 1-year deals, 1-year proven deals, and go from there. But we'll see how it all play out. Chase Young, I haven't heard anything on Chase Young yet, but the way the market is looking right now for defensive tackles, edge rushers, a lot of those guys are bringing in some big time money. So I wouldn't be surprised if a team over pays for Chase Young, and that's based on his upside. He's still a young player, been around a few teams. Teams are still intrigued by that upside, his potential, and that's going to get him a contract, maybe a 3-year deal, 3 4 year deal, payday. And I don't know if the Saints are going to do that. The Saints maybe wanting to bring him back, but we'll see how it all play out. But if you lose Chase Young, I felt as though edge was a position of need as well. You gotta have to address. So it'll be interesting to see how the Saints, um, you know, address that situation. But so far, you're attempting to address the defensive line by adding Devin Gacho. Really want to see what they do in regards to the linebackers, how they're gonna deploy Pete Warner in this type of scheme. We know what Demario Davis is gonna do. You know what I'm saying? I think he would transition. He's going to transition really well to the 3-4 defense. We'll see how it all shape out with Cam Jordan. Is he gonna take a pay cut, or restructure his deal. Colin Sanders, all the rest of those guys. So there's that. But Derek Carr, we all know about that. We talked about that in a different video. I'm not surprised by the move that they made with Derek Carr. Some more information came out today. What Andreas talked about, saying that. Let me go pull it up real quick. Let me pull it up. Let me go pull it up real quick. Give me a second. Yeah, this is right here. Kellen Moore. They talked to the media. The coaching staff talked to the media today, and Kellen Moore said that he took the job knowing with the idea that Derek Carr would be his starting QB. I'm not surprised by this. I think a lot of people just thought too much into it. They really thought that when Kellen Moore complimented Derek Carr, but not committing to him as being a starter, they felt as though cool. They felt as though Kellen Moore was going to move on from Derek Carr. That's what they felt, and even the media got played by this. You know, but I told y'all this before. I'm gonna keep saying this, man. Um, Mickey Loomis' preference was that he could hire a coach where Derek Carr would be the starting QB because he feel as though this team could compete, can contend for the NFC South. The only way, let me tell you, the only way this team is going to fully rebuild and tear it down is when when they're in the position that they have to, and that's what I mean by that is when it is if they lose 14 games, 14 games, 15 games. If they're in that top five pick range, top five, top three pick range, that's when they'll tear it down. 5-12, they're 5-12, but they don't have a top five pick. They don't have a top three pick. They're not in a position to get a really good quarterback. They're not in a position to get Cam Ward. So unless that happens, this is what you're gonna see. If the Saints continue to hover around this 9-8, 8-9, 7-10, 6-11 type of seasons, and they don't have a chance to get a quarterback, a top five pick, this is what you're gonna get. This is what you're gonna get right here. You know. And on top of that, did you really think that Mickey Loomis was going to let a head coach, a new head coach that has no coaching experience, even though he's a good play caller, he's built up a reputation as a good play caller, that has no coaching experience, come in and gut the roster? Absolutely not. Plus, on top of that, I hear a lot of people saying that, talking about how this is a situation that's compared to what's going on with Denver with when Sean Payton took over his first year with Russell Wilson, and he let Russell Wilson go the next year. He just eat up the dead money. Look, that that's Sean Payton, bro. He can do that. He's built up the cachet to do that. Not Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore is a what 36-year-old head coach, youngest coach in the NFL. Mickey Loomis wasn't about to let this dude come in and just gut this roster, bro, and just eat the dead money and just suck for a year and all of a sudden get you a top five pick and get Arch Manning. He wasn't supposed to let that guy do that, man. You know, I told y'all that. So, but it is what it is. Um, like I said the other day, Mickey Loomis wants to show that he can win a championship without Sean Payton and Drew Brees in the midst. That's what he wants to show, man. This is what it's all about. I don't have an issue with that, but my thing is, you want to do that? You want to do that stuff, that's fine. But you need to set this team up for failure once you go. Not for failure, my bad. You need to set this team up for success once you're gone. Because this is your last hire. This is Mickey Loomis' last hire, last major hire in regards to finding a head coach. I don't know how much longer he's going to be here, but this is his last hire for head coaches. They need to set this team up for success. Next year, and they're saying next year is supposed to be a really good QB class, and it won't matter where the Saints are at, where the Saints pick at. They should be able to find a good quarterback. We don't really know that though. That's not a guarantee because that stuff, the data changes all the time on these quarterbacks. When you think when you think there's going to be a class of really good quarterbacks, that class by the time the college football season ends, that quarterback class may be shrink down to like 2 or 3 quarterbacks, and those 2 or 3 quarterbacks probably gonna go within the top 10. And the Saints, and let's say the Saints win 10 games, 11 games. You're not gonna be able to get them guys unless you move up. So they better hope that next year's class, next year's QB crop is loaded with quarterbacks. You know, we on top of that, we got to find out if Kellen Moore even knows how to be a head coach. So I wouldn't even be hitching my wagon towards things turning around drastically in 2026. You know, but enough of that, man. No real big move, no real big splashy moves made by the Saints on, I would say, the first day of tampering for NFL free agency period 2025. Devin Gotcha was like the first major domino, but 30-year-old defensive tackle. I think he's going to address the need with this team. Looking forward to seeing how they address not the innovate, but other positions on the team, especially on defense, due to the fact that you're going to a 3-4. So we'll see how that all play out. But that's all I have for y'all for right now. Give me a like, comment, subscribe to that channel. Let me know how you feel. What are your takeaways on the signing of, well, not signing, but the acquisition of Devin Gotcho and the departure of Paulson Adebo? Also, check out sportsview360.com/Saints for latest content on the Saints organization. Have a blessed day. Peace. I'm out.